Hey guys, I'm going to do a little garden update video and show you guys some tips and stuff like that as well. Give you guys a quick education. It's a beautiful day if you guys can tell, just by the sky. It just got done raining. We got a lot. They're growing some pumpkins over there, by the way. But we needed some rain, it was very hot, very dry, in 80s, 90s most of the week, so we could use some cold weather a little bit. But to start, like I mentioned before, these big guys down here, these are poblano peppers. Let me grab one out for you. Well, I picked it by accident, but look at these boys right here. Poblano peppers are usually, this thick. They grow about 5-6 inches longer, and then they're ready to pick. They have like this weird, like a wrinkly, leathery skin, but that's what these peppers are. So, nice little poblano right there. These are perfect, like I said, for salsas, for dips. Make a cream sauce out of it, whatever you want. But these are definitely some great peppers to use, especially if you like to cook Mexican food. Now our next one I brought up before is serrano peppers. Now serrano peppers are these little guys right here. We got some bigger guys down here as well. These peppers are great for, like I said, Mexican stuff or even just regular food. I love them. They're pretty spicy. The poblanos are actually below the jalapenos, and these are above them. Now the thing with serrano peppers is that when they're fully grown in size, you can eat them. You can eat them when they're green, but you're not going to get a lot of the spice out of them unless it's red first. So I highly recommend letting them get red. Now poblanos, they will get like a dark forest green, and they're really good too, especially if you take them and you put them on the grill and get that nice char on them, and it makes it easier to peel, especially if you boil them too when they're hot. So little tip and trick for you. Next up, we got our peas. We're finally getting some pea pods. Look at these guys. Now, when you see pea pods developing like this, you'll see those little bumps. Of course, the bumps are the pods, but of course that doesn't mean there's actually pods in them yet. Now this one, you can tell by this, there's definitely pods in here. Now, you have to be kind of careful though, with making sure they don't grow off too far and make sure they are of size, But also, there is different kinds of peas. You can get sugar snap peas, which I think is the sugar snap peas. Those ones you can actually just eat the whole shell. These ones, of course, you have to break them in the shell and coat the peas separately. So that's something people don't know, and I actually got confused by that before I planted these. So that's what those peas look like, and just take a look at what the actual plants look like with the white flowers and how they grow on vines. The same thing with green beans, for example. Hopefully I can find some green beans in here for you. Might take a minute. We got a lot of leaves in here, but you can see these guys down there. Green beans. These is a bit tougher because look at this guy. He's ready to pick. And you can tell by the thickness of the bean, but also by the length of the bean. When the beans can be short and have bumps in them, that means they're done. But again, you also want to make sure. If they're small and skinny, of course they're not done. They can be long and skinny. That's kind of your call, but I would get a little thicker first before you cook them. But beans are also really good boiled. They're really good just thrown in a pan with butter. I love fresh beans. You guys realize how much better vegetables are when they're freshly grown instead of, just eating them plain. But also, we want to make sure the leaves are really dark green like this. That means the plant's very healthy. If it's a bright color like these, I'd recommend using fertilizer. We had to dump some on there, and it really took off for these plants. And of course, next, we have cucumbers, which you guys can see down here. You see a lot of flowers. You see little bumps by the flowers. Well, some education on that. Give you guys a little bit more of a closer view. It's in here. So look at that. We got a little cucumber right there. Now here's the thing. When you see the yellow flowers come up and you see this it's like a little thick stem that's attached to that flower and has, little prickles on it or whatever. That's the actual cucumber growing. When it gets to a certain size like that one, the flower falls off. That's how you know there's actually a full cucumber developing and it's healthy. Now you may realize, okay, why is it spiked? Why does the leaves have little, why do the leaves sound like that? Why do they have little things on them? It's for defense from animals and creatures so they don't eat them. Nature has a way of defending itself against creatures like us and animals too, and that's why they're like that. But we do have some healthy cucumbers, which is fantastic. That one's a big boy, so. Now, of course, our tomato plants. There's some kind of Spanish tomato. I don't remember the actual name of them. But when you see seeing little flowers on here, that's a good sign they are starting to grow. Now, tomato plants can get very big like this. Other species of tomatoes, they can be a lot more viney than these. If you have dividers, it's a type of thing to wrap around it, great. It'll keep it standing tall, and you'll make sure the tomatoes don't fall, because of course, when the plant's like this and it leans, what happens? Tomatoes fall, they get eaten, you get stepped on, you ruin your tomatoes, and you can't eat them. So be very careful with tomatoes, especially the small grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whatever. The issue is you can let them age too fast and they just don't eat them, or they don't grow, but also they can squish very easily, so be careful. Same with the bigger ones too. The bigger ones are more attracted to insects and worms, because you'll happen, they'll eat them, you'll see holes in them. Knowing there's holes in them, you might be able to get kind of weight around it, right? But once there's big scratches in it, like it's a cut, that's how you know it's starting to split open. The tomato's basically no good. So you really have to be careful with the bigger ones. Small ones are not a huge concern, but again, I'd recommend keeping your eye out for them. Lastly is our potatoes, which of course potatoes need to plant in a pot like this, because these are the red potatoes, smaller, easier to grow in a pot like this size. So that's what they look like down in here. But also, you can also choose to do like Yukon Gold, Idaho potatoes, stuff like that, where they're a lot more popular. And of course, you can deeper, because those are bigger potatoes than these. But that's just what the garden looks like right now. If you guys have any questions or anything for me, let me know. I'm glad to give you all the garden tips I can. This is just what we're working on right now. Now I want to show you guys one quick thing with carrots. Of course, you know, these are what carrots look like on top, so you know what they are. But also, the best thing about carrots, kind of like radishes for example, is when you see the orange kind of poking out of the soil, that's how you know it's done. Or at least that's actually growing. Now you can kind of let the soil away and kind of pick at it. The heavier it weighs, of course, you know it's actually fully grown. Now carrots, you want to make sure it has enough room, or else they can get too short. Or if not, they just don't get fat enough and they're still skinny. So that's one thing about carrots. I love fresh carrots. They're a lot tougher, they're a lot better, and better for you, duh. But this is just like that right now. I mean, gardening is a nice pastime. It's very chill. It's relaxing for the beast. It's a lot of fun to learn how to grow your own vegetables. It's a skill that people need to learn, especially now with prices going up and people not being able to afford their veggies. So it's something I think it's a useful skill to learn. And that's what I do appreciate about growing your own food. Now, again, like I said, I do plan on making cooking videos eventually. I'm going to be moving out next week, so I'm going to try my best with that as well. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys have certain veggies you want to learn how to cook with, or if you have a garden of your own, let me know what you're growing. We can exchange some advice. Other than that, have a great day.